Yeah.
We're good? You're good. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the August 3rd, 2023 Town of Niskuna Police and Public Safety Committee meeting. I'm going to start by taking attendance. I have Councilmember Brennan, myself, Town Clerk Michelle Martinelli, Town Attorney Finnan, Comptroller Elizabeth Greenwood, Seth Goldstein, and we have Mr. Michael Platt here from one of our residents. We're going to pass by the minutes. To begin, operationally, Speed Week is going to be August 14th through August 20th. We're going to be using grant-funded collaboration with New York State Police and neighboring agencies. We've reached out to the state police. Deputy Chief Twitty's going to reach out to the county sheriffs as well. We always collaborate on these things, but we're going to try to intensify that presence, specifically on Route 7 and some of our other county roads, to really get that visibility going during this Speed Week, to let people know as they're traveling through our community that, you know, we don't want you speeding. We want people driving safely and responsibly and obeying all of the traffic laws. So we would appreciate everybody's cooperation, but you will see us out August 14th through 20th doing a Speed Week wave. Clean equipment, our 603 had engine failure. It's covered by warranty at Metro Ford. Spoke about this previously. It's ongoing. Hopefully by tomorrow, they're going to give me some information as to when that's going to be back. Also under fleet and equipment, we need to auction a police vehicle. We have one of our old decommissioned vehicles that we're sort of using as a school car that needs quite a bit of work, and it's not going to pass inspection, and I think it would behoove us to auction it instead. Our building, some ongoing things, just the fence and wall around the rear of MPD. We're going to continue to look towards doing that. I know the highway department, raised crews, they're out doing the patios and all sorts of good stuff around town hall. So we appreciate their hard work on those things. Just as an FYI, Charlie did fix the urinal. That's why it's off. He got some time to free up and he did that. And I appreciate all Charlie's hard work because he's a one-man show here and we greatly appreciate everything he does. Yeah.
Here, model.
Training. Our department is continuing to complete its annual Police One Academy training in procedural justice and implicit bias. Also under training, Officer Morrow will be attending the basic school resource officer training in Syracuse, August 28th through September 1st, through the State of New York Juveniles Officers Association. Just as a special mention, NCAP directly funded this. They used their grant monies to pay for this training, including the lodging, which is not cheap. And we really appreciate their support. I don't know when specifically the grant ends, but I believe this is the last year that they have the grant. It was a 10-year grant through NCAP, and I think this is the last year. And I can't thank NCAP enough for their support and their partnership and all the things they've done for us. And they're still continuing right up to the very end to do things to help support our police agency in some of our initiatives. So thank you to them. Sergeant Party is going to be teaching use of force training at the Zone 5 Regional Law Enforcement Academy on August 3rd and 4th. Our agency is going to participate in the Rescue Task Force training that's going to be hosted by Glenville, August 24th and 25th. Sergeant Party is going to be assisting with teaching, and Officer Polira and Spataro are scheduled to attend to participate in the training. And then lastly, under training, Recruit O'Brien is continuing training at the Zone 5 Regional Law Enforcement Academy. I spoke with him last night. His spirits are high, and he's moving forward into defensive tactics training. So. Under citizen correspondence, if I can take a sip of coffee. Marita Aguilar had requested a stop sign North Allendale Beck Street. She had also requested no dumping signs, which were put up by, again, the highway department. Great appreciation towards them for doing that. We're calling for a public hearing. When we call for a public hearing, the public hearing is at this town board meeting. And we invite anybody out to come speak about any concerns they have about those stop signs going up. It is an uncontrolled intersection over in that location. Elizabeth Reynolds was requesting Fairfax be evaluated for unsafe speed. Officer Munger is, we actually just finished the second speed trailer that Officer Munger and Officer Wyman are putting together with Niskuna Community Foundation funds. Thank you to them. And that trailer just recently got done, and we're going to be putting out a trailer and doing an evaluation around Fairfax now that one's complete as well. Frank Giappa requested a stop sign, Wyoming at Baker Ave. This has been a long-going discussion, not to get too far in the weeds with it. This is also on for To be spoken on at a public hearing this upcoming town board meeting. I've spoken with Mr. Mastriani this week also because he had been long time giving his concerns regarding this area, and he's going to be attending and speaking about why he thinks it's of value as well to transition over to that. New, we have Mr. Michael Clutt here. He reached out to us over concerns of the ongoing speed and littering on Cotsall Road. Do you want to speak, Mr. Clutt? No? Okay. I met with Mr. Clutt the other day. I had the pleasure of going to his house and meeting with him and speaking and seeing what's going on over there. We have some directed patrols going on over for enforcement. We're going to look to continue to do ongoing analysis. I'd explained that to him. I explained a little bit before the meeting today. And we're seeing consistent speeds of average around 33 miles an hour, depending on where we're putting it. But we're going to continue to do analysis and continue to direct patrols over there to make sure that we're trying to keep those speeds down as low as possible and address those concerns. Town events, Coffee with a Cop, the Senior Center. I'm there every third Tuesday monthly. Again, great time for anybody that's interested in coming over that way and meeting with us. It's a great group of people. They crack me up. And we have really good ongoing conversations. And the staff there is great as well, and being very accommodating to me and all the stories I like to tell as well. So, Target Starbucks Coffee with a Cop. The next event is going to be August 14th at 1 p.m. That's going to be Sergeant Chris Henry. That's going to be running that. Thank you to Target and Starbucks for allowing us to do that. The farmers market continues to be ongoing. I actually spoke with Libby yesterday. We were able to obtain another gift card from Stewards, who continually supports us in our Coffee with a Cop initiatives. We're going to be looking to set up some dates to do Coffee with a Cop. We haven't done it to this point, to be quite honest, because it's 1,000,000 degrees outside, and it's difficult to serve coffee even in the morning to people when they probably would rather a cold bottle of water. But we're going to be looking to do that as we move forward, as summer kind of ends into the fall coolness.
Water with a cop.
Water with a cop? Water? Cake with a cop? Many options. Michelle, did you have anything that you wanted to?
No, yeah, go
I
ahead.
actually have something under
Sure.
Michelle's. So we are looking to make amendments to our solicitors and peddlers code because there's certain exceptions right now that don't allow us to do background checks on the individuals who are going door to door. And we're not comfortable with that, but as the code is currently drafted, you don't really have to say and unilaterally change it. Additionally, Michelle's spoken a couple of times about other programs that other municipalities are utilizing to allow our residents to opt out of it.
Sure.
And then that list gets provided to people who are applying, or agencies that are applying, and companies, whatever they would be, to solicit so that they do not go to those individual doors. And I think you might have even sent me.
So what I sent you, just so we put it on the record, Albany has a city code where it's almost like an aggressive panhandling solicitation ordinance. It really clearly outlines, asking people for things while they're near 18 hours, following people, kind of harassing, annoying behavior. And I really think it'd be a value for us to possibly incorporate that into this, because we do get quite a few calls for folks over at the Commons and things of that nature. And if we can kind of bundle that into one package and cover all the bases, I think that would be a great thing for our
I
town.
mean, we had issues last year. We had somebody that I was in court with because one of our officers got injured
Correct.
upon approaching the person because the person wasn't properly licensed and different things. So we want to look at it as a whole and see what changes we can make, but everything that's being discussed right now are all the changes that we're looking to do. So doing exactly that, just looking what other municipalities have in place and seeing how we can make our code stronger to protect our residents.
Look as well, I know our insurance had the question about, we've started to see just in the area when we have various things happening at the park, sometimes we get food trucks. And the way we're currently written, like we do for like the ice cream that goes around and goes to houses, they have to get a permit, but when we have outside, say, food trucks in the parks right now, they don't, the way it's written. And I know our insurance had voiced. Yeah, and when our insurance was doing our renewal this year, they had mentioned that whether or not we charge them, obviously that's not their concern, but they just said, for the town to have on file some kind of, contact information and proof of insurance and proof that they've got their Department of Health stuff. would be helpful as well. So if you're already doing something with that, if just add one little bit for that, that would be excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, because I know in a lot of the tournaments they have.
Yeah, and we hadn't really seen that until more recently when the food trucks have started becoming more of a thing. So we just want to make sure that everybody's, and most food trucks, they're already licensed by the county, and so that's on file somewhere. But if we just got a copy of it, I think our insurance would be a lot happier.
There might have to be something about who's with
Mhm.
regards to that.
Oh, that's a good point. Mhm.
Yeah, because I had asked one time, somebody had brought it to my attention that there was, food trucks in all of the different tournaments,
Mhm.
football, soccer, football,
Right.
all these things. And somebody asked me, I honestly didn't know. I said, I don't know how that works. And then, I started asking somebody I know who is in the food industry, who does it in Saratoga, and they have multiple levels of permits, and
Mhm.
county, and city, and, public health and all these other things. And I don't think we're trying to put up barricades, but I think it would be of value to others. So
And-
who's in our town and what they're serving.
And just, and having copies of that in case, I mean, heaven forbid, if anything ever were to happen,
Especially
if someone got ill.
nothing, that the clubs are utilizing town facilities, so if something. Town property responsibility.
I mean, that makes sense.
Thank you for doing that.
But we haven't done anything yet.
No,
We've got a lot of conversations.
Looking at all this,
We've got a
yeah,
lot of
we're looking at
conversations.
researching, I think. And it's not just me.
Yeah.
So,
We're all pitching in to try to figure it out together, so. I didn't get any court issues from the court at all. I didn't get anything from the fire department. The school district, just an ongoing thing. We're still working with the district team to get the Knox boxes. I know they have them and they're installing them as we speak. And hopefully those are gonna be, all outfitted for this upcoming school year. Bus patrol, our stop arm camera violation system that we're working on. We're still working on basically an opt-in agreement with the school district and with bus patrol and the language of it, to move forward with that. Bus patrol has the red line changes from the school district. I spoke with, Assistant Superintendent Matt Leon today. I spoke with bus patrol today. I sent you an email today.
would you mind responding?
You don't need to respond back to email. Rodney from bus patrol and you on Monday, he's gonna be meeting with his legal to go over exactly what I sent him, to make sure that we're all on the same page. He did mention that, it's gonna be a minimum 90-day rollout once we all finalize it. So I think that we're sort of, it's gonna be after the school year starts, if this will occur. Because they have a lot of jurisdictions now signed up. They're getting back up. So we'll continue to work on that. Yesterday I had the pleasure of attending a school resource officer workshop with our school district. It was some of the school district administrators, the superintendent, the assistant superintendents, and really well supported by all of our local county law enforcement agencies. Each one of them had one of their school resource officers there to share their experiences and some of their challenges in getting their programs running and how they built them and things that were successful and not so successful. And it's a really good open conversation because our school district obviously wants to engage in that conversation. It sounds like they're getting parents asking about that because we are the only agency in Stanton County that does not currently have an SRO program. And it was awesome for the school district to invite us all in to have that open dialogue and that conversation and really look at it from that approach. So I really appreciate the school district's willingness to engage in those conversations, invite us in, and we'll see where it leads. Personnel, our agency continues to evaluate resumes for potential lateral police officer transfers. I put it on as a tentative appointment. We have somebody from the city of Saratoga who is looking to come here. We're continuing through that process. Tomorrow I've got him lined up for his medical, his fingerprints, and some other things to get those background checks done. And then hopefully we're gonna be set up for an interview next week. And then we'll kind of go from there. We'll see. I spoke to Barb Leonard today. She's looking through the 6 service side things. And we'll see if that's an option for this month to do. I will mention to that point, when I spoke to civil service, more good news. We had 190 people sign up for the Stanton County police exam.
Awesome.
And I think the last test we gave, it was about 109. So clearly we're raising it up with publicizing it and getting more folks involved. So. Also under personnel, our dog control officer, Dave Stern, is not gonna be available. I think we need to have a long-term discussion. I mentioned it before, on the dog control officer position. I think for the upcoming budget, we need to maybe even think about taking some of the budgeted money or the majority of the budget money and creating sort of an overtime line and essentially assigning a police officer that is willing, able, and wants to take on that role as an ancillary duty. Because I think as a long-term solution, having a part-time dog control officer is going to be a very, very difficult thing to navigate. I've spoken with many municipalities that are going through the same things. Rotterdam's talking about doing exactly what I'm just describing. They have 2 part-time on staff currently. I reached out to Gilderland in the process of us trying to find a shelter and spoke with a very knowledgeable animal control officer from over there, offered her a position here, part-time, but she said it's very difficult to find people that want to do this part-time now. So I think we just need to continue that conversation about what are we gonna do long-term. We did have a meeting with the chiefs of police a couple of weeks ago. I brought up the concept of a joint service countywide, hoping that conversation continues, but that's a big long-term project, so. Short-term currently, Deputy Chief Twitty is going to be assisting with all of the dog bites and follow-up things at this point. And obviously, so the officers that are responding are taking depositions, taking photographs, filing the Department of Health paperwork that's necessary. And then Deputy Chief Twitty is going to be overseeing all of those cases and working with you to try to navigate those forward. That's what we're currently.
Is there a way to have a job description and advertise for this position?
There is,
There is a civil service job description.
there is,
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think we've advertised at all.
we have not advertised. It's a really small budget. And there's training and there's a lot that goes into it. And I think I said it previously, we can certainly do that. But I really feel like the long-term solution is to incorporate it into the police agency a little bit further. Because I think we're gonna have a revolve, but we can definitely explain that. Definitely. Other, on our Facebook page, we are advertising a civilian police academy survey. Chief Clifford from Schenectady approached the other chiefs about doing a civilian police academy. He said that he would kind of take the lead, or his agency would. We assisted them, thank God for Detective Munger, who helped build the online survey for us all to push out, all of our agencies to push out, and we're collecting that as we speak about whether or not people would be willing to participate and what their level of interest is. So please go on our Facebook page, take the survey if you have interest at all. And hopefully in the fall that would be up and running. The threat assessment team MOA for Schenectady County is on here as well. We spoke about it a while ago that under an executive law or executive order under Governor Hochul in the end of 2022 in the wake of mass shootings, there was a directive whereby Schenectady County or Everett County has to form a threat assessment team. And we're working in conjunction with the Schenectady County Sheriff's Office. Detective Sergeant John Connor is our liaison to that. But there is an MOA that we're looking to sign to formally be a part of that, because there's a lot of information sharing that goes on. And it's not just amongst law enforcement, it's based upon partnerships in the community, businesses, school districts, like the school district, Tim Murphy has been attending it. So it's a really good thing for us to continue to direct people towards the appropriate resources depending on what's going on. So. I just have my resolutions. I didn't put the MOA for the tag on the resolution, because we do that too. Sorry about that. And that's all I have. Does anybody have anything else? Discuss or add or? Just what?
Yep. I just wanted to say, kind of like on the record, that the chief came out to my house. He had mentioned he did, but I was really surprised at the outcome. It was towards the positive on both sides. He saw my concerns, which were fantastic. I saw his concerns, which were fantastic. I don't agree with all of them, as he doesn't agree with all of mine. But we're working towards a comparable solution. And like I've said before, I've talked to residents in the area that have concerns. They're a little bit afraid to step forward. But they did say to me, if I wanted to go to these meetings, not give their names, but give their concerns, they'd be more than happy to tell me their concerns. So they, you know, people across the street from me said that they contacted the police department and nothing got done. And I said, well, that doesn't happen with me. If you tell me what you want, I will tell them what, you know, concerns. I'm retired, so I see a lot. And I put her around in the yard and I just, you know, and then when I see somebody, I go, and I can't even read the license, but they're going a little bit too fast. I appreciate talking to, the chief knows this. I don't.
Officer Breslin.
Oh,
Officer Breslin?
yes,
Yes.
I had the trouble remembering people's names, faces. I could remember you know, I haven't seen you in 5 years. But I remember faces and I can definitely say I'll try very hard to remember people's names. So when the chief asks me who it was, I can, with confidence, tell him I don't know.
And we had some good laughs at yours too, just to be clear. So,
Yes. But I'm saying that he really tried the other day. I'm a long-winded type person. And that comes with age. When I was younger, but he really tried. And I gotta give him credit for that. I wanted to say it at this meeting. And I'll be at the town meeting. Sometime in the end of August, and I will say the same thing there.
we should.
The last meeting we had discussed, we got off at a wrong foot. We both kind of, he has a strong personality and I have a strong personality, and we tend to clash a little bit at times, and that's okay. That's what makes the world go round. So I just want to say that, and I want to say thank you for letting me attend this meeting. And I don't know who you are.
I'm the comptroller, that's great.
Oh, the last time I was at a meeting, they had no controller. They were looking for one,
They found one.
Thank you.
but I really do appreciate you having me here. And I hopefully, God willing, I'll be coming back to meetings. My main concern is speeding. I don't care about anything else. All I care about is in the town of Niskayuna. And I'm gonna throw something out there that if you guys want to listen to it. There is over 1,000 people a day breaking the law in Niskayuna, which consists of 364,000 people a year that are breaking the law. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It isn't anybody's fault, but there needs to be something done about it before it gets to 500,000. And when I say that, if somebody is breaking the law by going over the speed limit, that is what they're doing. When people see that they can get away with it, more people do it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
No, I really appreciate your commentary, and I can't thank you enough for saying those sentiments, because that means a lot to me. I will tell you, you know, and just in a broader conversation, as I talk about it with a lot of residents, you know, personal responsibility in our communities at large. I mean, our nation, you know, we need to continue to encourage our neighbors, friends, the people we interact with about that personal responsibility. Because that's how we ultimately fix things, is people take it personal responsibility on themselves to stop doing whatever they shouldn't be doing, right? But we're going to continue to have these conversations. We're going to continue to work on Council Road. As we've discussed many times, you know, you just told me the story with me. Your house didn't have Council Road next to it, directly next to it many years ago. And unfortunately, sometimes when plans are laid out, not everyone, the homes and things like that are taken into consideration for what the town's going to grow into, right? But we're going to keep addressing it, and I thank you for your words, and I thank you for your conversation, because it was very nice speaking to you guys. It was very nice. Does anybody else have anything else? Seth? No? Okay.
Unless you want to talk about progress with the cameras or anything like that.
No, let's wait until we actually get them. We're continuing to progress on the new camera system for the town. Slow and steady wins the race, right? What was that? Slow and steady wins the race. Yes, yes. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you so much, everybody. Our next meeting is September 7th, 2023.